Well, if I have to start off with the idea of opportunity, I like to say that when we talk about equal opportunity, we mean no discrimination. All we mean is equal pay, equal rights, and equal recognition. And because gender equality in sports has always been a controversial topic, what we need to boil it down to is that we need to do more about gender equality, which means no disparity in sport, not in work life, and nor in your workforce where you're working. Now, for example, if I have to tell you, the United States of America, they have like 40% participation of female in sports. But what if I told you that it was only 6 to 8% that actually got the media coverage? And out of that, it was just 3.5% who were actually showcased in the sports column of their newspaper. So that is like a pretty different kind of a thing, when it comes to statistics and stuff. Also, when we talk about the idea of opportunity, I believe that it should start right from the school level, because there are many talented girls out there who kind of have to shut down on their dreams because of the barriers and the restrictions that the society has to put to them. So what we can do is, create a talent hunt kind of a thing, or, make a career building program at the grassroots level. And apart from that, since this generation is more inclined towards digital platform and stuff, to motivate the youngsters, we can organize seminars and workshops, and this is what we at A6 have been doing. So previously, when we had the idea of starting this webinar, Sport in the New Normal, we started off with Cricket Australia, and wherein we had Jane Moffat. She was the national female participation manager, and she kind of told us how to boost female participation in cricket, which is like one of the most loved sport in Australia and most subcontinent back in India and Bangladesh and all of those countries. And apart from that, we also, we kind of think out of the box. And one of the key topics of discussions was also opportunities for women in sport. We also concentrated on that, and we kind of gave it a major thing. And the next webinar that we had, apart from Cricket Australia, was the state cricket bodies. And we had Caitlin Spencer, who was the female participation specialist. And she also kind of told us about the ways in which we can guide and help women to boost up and showcase their talent in the real world out there. Well, we have had a lot of parents, who are worried about their daughter's future in the field of sports, and all we at A6 want to say is that we are more than happy to help them, to guide them in their career, to give them the right platform, to give them the right contact. And we were also kind of hoping to host a female cricket league, in future. So these are some of the initiatives that we as A6 as an organization has taken to boost female participation in sports. I think a lot of you guys might just agree to whatever I'm going to say now. It's not just a few barriers that I would like to mention. There are a lot of barriers that women in the sport field has actually to go through. We speak about the practical barriers, we speak about the personal barriers, and starting off, we have had athletes, especially women athletes, who've started their families, who've had babies, and kind of, the career just shuts down there because all they have to do is, concentrate on raising their kids, So this is like a taboo kind of a thing that society has, because it's more or less of a belief that, female or women in a sports field is more, there's like a timeline to it. There's like a restriction that you cannot do that. But I have a few examples about that to, just cover up and give a proof of it. Serena Williams, she won the Grand Slam title when she was having a baby in a womb. And another great example is Mary Kom. She won the world championship after having 2 kids. So all I want to say is it's not the barrier, it's the mindset of people that needs to be changed. And apart from that, there are some personal barriers as well. For example, clothing and equipment, more of the clothing thing, if I have to particularly concentrate, I see that the women costumes, the athletes that we have to wear, they're kind of a little bit revealing, like in particular to some sports. But there are some countries that, restrict themselves, and they kind of don't allow their female participants to wear such revealing clothes. So we see people from Middle East wearing hijabs and full-length clothes. But do you see the kind of enthusiasm they have? Even after binding with so many restrictions, they are up there on the field and playing games like soccer, which is like something which is like in the male-dominated field of sport, and women are really coming up. And apart from that, there is factor or called as personal safety as well. I mean, how different is it that a man after all the male after completing their studies or education can go back to their practice in the evening and come back without stressing or worrying about whether they will be back home safe or not. But that's not the case with women, but women playing sports. If they have studies to go hand in hand, and if they're planning to do work out, I mean do their sport thingy and practice in the evenings, it kind of gets a little difficult. And another thing that I would like to touch is lack of funding and lack of money. Well, if I have to particularly go and Google about the athletes that made it big after, outshining in their game, you'll see fine examples like Mike Tyson, Cristiano Ronaldo, Novak Djokovic, etc. But when I do the same for female athletes, you'll find that there are reports, but there's no specific name that comes out. So this is like that major barrier, because, and for other female athletes that have shined or something like that, they've come from a stable family. They've not had a lack of funding or something like that. So these are some barriers that we, kind of need to shut down. And just like Josh kind of covered it in the female participation for AFL today, which I would like to highlight, it's all about the mindset that needs to get changed. And maybe one day we'll definitely have this change come over. AFL has indeed been a very great influence to motivate women to make a career in high intensity contact sport like football. This can indeed motivate countries like India or all the subcontinents, because we are actually opening up to more sports like these. And for starting off, cricket was one of the most loved sport, and we've seen that even women are getting that platform. Women are outshining, and they're also getting that kind of that media coverage that we wanted to see from such a long time. And recently, for a country like India, who has shown so much love for a game like cricket, is showing and accepting a game like soccer. We have Sunil Chetri and many other players that are coming up, and this is some game which is loved worldwide. Soccer is something that's loved worldwide. Football is loved worldwide, and we are accepting game, and we seeing people that go to play to the stadiums and watch these games. And I believe in future as well, when we get that kind of platform, we'll have female playing football as well, and we'll be having a liberal mindset that even women can have that own kind of game and can play that high contact sport. So all I want to say, changes don't happen overnight. We need to take the right kind of effort, and we'll surely see the change in future.